Welcome to the Positive Growth Doctor podcast for women. I'm your host, Dr. Christina Wilson. I created the Positive Growth Doctor after years of dealing with societal expectations, self-doubt, and perfectionism. I leveraged my 30 years of experience as a positive psychologist to address limiting beliefs and gain clarity to build confidence and navigate obstacles to achieve a healthier well-being. I knew that pain all too well, so I empower women to achieve confidence and live a positive-centered life. Subscribe to the podcast and check out the earlier episodes so you don't miss a thing. And let's get to it. Welcome to the Positive Growth Doctor podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christina Wilson. Women juggle many competing roles throughout the day, every day, and they're expected to have it all together. And this mental juggling can actually lead to what is called cognitive overload. And it reduces our ability to focus and on just individual tasks. And it leads to just feeling tired and fatigued. It's no wonder women often struggle to just find time for self-care and personal interests, the things that they enjoy. And this lack of personal time leads to burnout and increased distraction. It diminishes our attention span and our overall well-being. So, in this episode, we explore the intrinsic relationship between attention span and the everyday challenges that women experience. And I offer insights into the mental load women often carry and provide practical strategies for enhancing concentration and reducing stress. So you can expect to gain valuable tips on prioritizing your self-care and fostering a mindset to navigate life's demands more effectively. So find the full transcript for this episode on your favorite podcast app. And please share the podcast with other women. Love on other women and share it. To help them grow on their journey through life as well. And don't forget, don't just stop at your friends. You can reach out and reach more women by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. I appreciate you. So I have a question for you. Do you find yourself multitasking? Perhaps you set out to complete a task and the next thing you know, you're adding 2 to 3 more things all at once. Yeah, I thought so. I used to think, oh, look at me. I can multitask, while thinking it was such a great thing. And it turns out it's not a skill set. It's a bad habit. And the average individual, their attention span is estimated to be about 8 to 12 seconds for a task that requires sustained attention without any particular interest or engagement. 8 seconds. And, I've researched this and, I stay on top of the research and have noticed that it just keeps going down and down and down. Attention span is dependent on different variables. Sometimes age is an impact, or interest level, the presence of distraction. It also varies by an individual's personal, environmental factors and cognitive abilities. But 8 to 12 seconds, that's the average, okay? And distractions significantly impact our well-being and our mind and increase self-doubt in various ways. And that's exactly why we're talking about it today, because it is so important. Our well-being takes a hit when distractions lead to stress and anxiety and sometimes even depression. And it prevents you from focusing on tasks and responsibilities effectively. Yes. And that is important because, uh, I know I like to do things well. And so when it's not as good as it could have been because I'm so distracted. That's frustrating. As a result, we experience those feelings of overwhelm, and that's never good. As we constantly switch between, and it makes it difficult to complete them thoroughly. We may have halfway done things here and there, right? Especially when you're multitasking. Ultimately, we can experience self-doubt when we don't get things done. And we start to question ourselves. You might question your ability and feel less like competent, which further impacts your confidence. And that's not what we want, right? Now, the cycle of distraction and self-doubt, it can hinder personal and professional growth. And it makes it challenging to pursue those passions or take on new challenges so we can grow. The things that we really enjoy and that we want to do. Distractions can shift your mindset from one of focus and determination to one of scattered attention and procrastination. We've all procrastinated at some point. Remember how that felt? Didn't feel good. And that is a rabbit hole that you don't want to go down. And a distracted mind finds it harder to maintain a positive, growth-centered mind. Instead of concentrating on opportunities and solutions, which is where we should be, you might find yourself dwelling on problems and any setback as a result. And that hinders your creativity and your innovation. And it leads to negative thought loop, that stinking thinking or cognitive distortion. Those things, they're ugly and they feel awful. So can one balance their role? Can they navigate the mental load? Of course, yes. Otherwise, it would be doing this, right? And that's what I want to support you in achieving. A lot of this is mindfulness, being mindful of when you're doing things. And even though God set us free from bondage, we still find ourselves as human beings once again enslaved by the distraction of the world, our to-do list, all the things that we're trying to juggle. And maintaining that freedom is difficult because of human nature. And it takes work. So what pattern has God set you free from in the past? Behavioral or thought pattern? How did it feel? It's frustrating when we get stuck in those old ways, isn't it? It's never good. And in Galatians 5:1, we are reminded that he has set us free and to not become burdened by those old ways. And this is where mindfulness comes in too. Catch those habits and those old patterns as they're creeping up and be mindful of them so you can turn from them. Strengthen your self-awareness. So to mitigate these negative effects of increased cognitive load and distraction, or because of distraction, it's important to remember that you need to create an environment that minimizes distraction, where you can clear goals and practice mindfulness or meditation to enhance your focus and your clarity, both. And when you do this, you can maintain a healthier well-being and build self-confidence and foster positive mindset. And that supports your personal and your professional development. the things that are important to you. We develop these naughty habits due to the widespread use of digital devices, social media, which have been shown to impact our attention span. And these things aren't going away. So we need to figure out what to do and how to grow with at our fingertips, basically. And many studies have suggested that constant notification and the habit of multitasking with digital devices can shorten your attention span over time pretty quickly. I know I turn off my notifications unless it's absolutely urgent, which not often. I just pay attention, to it whenever I get a chance. I'll take a look, like maybe on the hour, I'll, check things if something, um, that I'm looking for. Uh, but there is something called neuroplasticity, and that is the brain's ability to rewire or reorganize over time. That's a good thing. God gave us amazing brains, didn't he? And research tells us that the brain is adaptable and attention span can be improved through practice and training. So this can occur through mindfulness practices or meditation, cognitive exercises, as they enhance our focus and prolong attention span. When we're engaged in meaningful activities, our attention span does tend to extend. And the level of engagement can significantly affect how well someone can focus on. But we need to know how to effectively handle those things that don't keep our attention very easily, right? Here are 5 tips to navigate distraction, create balance, and achieve the freedom that God gave you, and grow on your journey as a woman. The first is related to how we balance our multiple roles. Okay. So many women juggle various roles, as we talked about, profession, um, caregiver, friend, family, all of these. And this constant role switching can lead to frequent distractions. And it's really challenging for us to maintain focus on any one task, thereby it impacts um, our productivity and it increases our stress level. So my tip for you is to schedule the tasks on your calendar. And that will help you hold yourself accountable because then you're going to go back and you're going to see what you didn't complete. And then you can figure out, well, why is that? Right? What was I doing? And that can increase awareness. And start with the most difficult or least enjoyable task first. I know. But it really is a needle mover, truly. Get it out of the way. And you don't want to be bogged down by the negative thoughts about the task. Oh man, I got to do this. I don't want to do this. That distracts you from the task that you are completing ahead of it. And it gets in the way, right? Now, the second is related to workplace challenges. And in a professional setting, women might face additional pressures, such as proving themselves so they're competent to especially if you're in a male dominated field or dealing with gender biases. I wasn't in a male dominated field, but anytime there were men, I still had to prove, they had higher expectations of us. And these pressures can heighten stress level, it just makes it harder to concentrate, and potentially it affects your attention span. So my tip to you is to make that shift away from I'm good enough or I'm not good enough to knowing you were meant to be here, right? Recognize who you were meant to be because you're not here by accident. And remind yourself that you earned a seat at the table. And focus on how you can continue to grow and persevere. All right. You might even consider using daily affirmation to remind yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Uh, it might seem cheesy, but it's an excellent way, again, to move the needle, right? And you can place them in your or on your bathroom mirror to remind yourself. All right. The third is related to that mental load specifically. And women carry the mental load of managing household responsibilities, which involves planning, organizing, remembering numerous tasks, all of the things. This mental juggling leads to the cognitive overload, and it reduces your ability to focus on specific tasks and increases fatigue, which is never good for you. So my tip is to be aware of your stress levels and your stress triggers. So high stress can negatively impact your concentration, of course. If you experience depression, you're going to experience poor concentration, most likely. Many people do. So, can with anxiety as well. And stress management techniques are important. So meditation, devotional, and physical exercise. Go take a walk when you're on your break or at lunch. Prayer, breathing exercises, grounding exercises. There's so many. And they can create balanced lifestyle and help you improve your focus. And also, kind of a bonus tip there, I want to encourage you it kind of goes in with the first one, write it down. Write it down on your calendar, right? Because when you write down a to-do list, it really helps keep you on track. It really does. And every time, and it doesn't happen often because I know better, but if I forget my list whenever I go to the store, it's a problem. So everything goes so much more smoothly, and I can focus on what I need to get at the store when I have my list. Okay? Now, the next one is related to self-care and personal time. I know who has time for that, right? But you got to make time. You have to. And, with all the responsibilities that they often struggle, find time for them. And, which leads to burnout and diminishing your attention span, and your overall well-being. So my tip is to set 15 minutes of time on your calendar just to engage in self-care. Okay? No phone, nothing. And whatever it is that brings you joy, okay, feeds you. And you might also consider taking a short break every 30 to 45 minutes just to stretch, go to the bathroom, and fill your water bottle. Now, sometimes people might think, well, I really have to, stop and go to the bathroom yeah. I don't think about it, and I work and I work and I work. This is what I used to do. I used to work, and realize, oh my gosh, I have to go to the bathroom now. Like, I cannot wait anymore. It's not good for your bladder. It's not good for you. It wasn't good for me. So I needed to start taking these short breaks, and it really has made a difference. Throw in some deep breathing exercises before you get back to work. that will reset your mind and your body. And finally, the last one is related to social expectation. Those pressures regarding appearance and behavior, success, they create mental burden that we don't need. That's extra, and it's extra crap, right? So these pressures can contribute to self-doubt and anxiety, and it makes it hard to maintain a positive mindset and focus for your personal goal. So my tip for you is to grab a free copy of the confidence workbook that I have, and it's going to get you thinking about things, and it's personalized for you. It helps you dial down into what's important. And I have that link, the transcript. Now, here is a bonus tip because I love you so much and I want you to have a bonus. So check out the Positive Growth Doctor's social media, okay, on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn for this 7-day daily challenge for this week. It's called #Mental Clarity Challenge. Okay. So check that out on the social media platform. And you can also join if you want to have a group of women where you can kind of talk about, hey, this is how I did on the challenge today, or for other things too, or to get resources and information. You can go to the Women's Empowerment Group on Facebook for from the Positive Growth Doctor, of course, to gain support. Okay. And I have that link in the transcript as well. I hope this helped. And I am thankful that you're here pouring into yourself. And please, please know that you are loved. Let's meet up again next week for another episode.
Thanks for listening to the Positive Growth Doctor podcast. Be sure to leave a review and tell other women about the podcast. Let's support one another. Find the full transcript for this episode on your favorite podcast app. Watch the podcast on the Positive Growth Doctor YouTube channel and learn more at thepositivegrowthdoctor.com. And be assured, you are not alone on your journey